Hello, this is the Mega Construx Halo Blue Team set at long last. Before I dig into the details of this, I feel it's important, just out of respect, to recognize what a saga it has been waiting for this set to actually be released. Because it was first shown on its first retail site with a price as if it was about to be released within weeks back in September of 2016. As I record this video, it is late June 2017, and the set has shown up pretty consistently. Sometimes it goes away, sometimes it comes back, but it's been showing up on different retail sites for all of those months, teasing us continually, becoming almost a myth. And finally, it is a myth no more. So, this is what it looks like in its most compact form. I feel like this is a good form for displaying it on a desk, kind of a medium to low desk that's approachable from multiple angles, because you can see all of the figures from different angles, and there's not really a camera unfriendly angle of this. However, you can separate the thing in the center like so. It's just kind of a friction fit together, which is kind of clever, to allow you to display this a little bit more open, which is a little bit better look, I'd say, for like a shelf, where you're going to be mostly looking at it from one side. And you know, there are different options for how you can arrange that if you want. You can bring it over like this. Of course, you probably want to have Master Chief facing out towards the front. You also want to see the flag on there. The flag is only printed on one side, unfortunately. I feel like after all of this wait, they could have given us a double printed flag, but that's becoming the new standard, it seems. These are unique figures with their paint applications. Each one has a pair of well-painted weapons, and each one has a base with the name and designation on it. You've pretty much seen the terrain pretty well now, so let's get in closer, look at the figures. So here's the new Master Chief, and you already saw by now that there is a major problem with all of these figures as I received them in the one that I purchased. The silver paint application, which is supposed to be like a dry brushing technique, was much too wet. It's much too heavy. There's so much bright silver that's been just slathered all over this thing. It's pretty ridiculous. Kind of like my veil that I got with one of my Team Osiris packages that I purchased. It's just too much. It's way too much. It's supposed to be showing battle damage. It's supposed to be showing wear. It's supposed to be, you know, little scrapes in various places to show kind of the high points, the high areas of the armor that have run into stuff around him. And instead, it just looks like he's taken a bath in silver paint, and it's starting to run off him a little bit. Maybe it was like a silver metallic flake mixed in a vat of oil, not boiling oil or anything. Come on, just, you know, vegetable oil, and it's not good in my opinion. I mean, let me know if you disagree with that, but I think it's just way overdone. Interesting what they did for the visor there. Not quite orange. It's a little bit reddish, and appears to be two different colors actually on top of each other. He has an assault rifle here, and I will show you all of the alternate weapons included, because each figure gets one alternate as well. I'll show you those in a minute. Here's Fred, and I feel like he didn't suffer as much as the Chief with the metallic flake in oil bath, because, well, his armor is already kind of light and desaturated in the first place. So when you add more, you know, non-colored light stuff on it, it doesn't change it too much, but there's still way too much of it on there. I mean, if you actually look at it, you know, you should be seeing more of that pale greenish, almost like a lichen color, not quite a seafoam. It's a little more desaturated than that, but it has other paint applications as well. but most of those just tend to be kind of faded away by all the silver. He comes with a DMR, which has paint applications on it. This particular DMR that I got has a little bit of smudging on this one side here, but the black is just plain plastic, so I can pretty easily clean that up. But yeah, I think this one is relatively presentable, but if I really wanted to be proud of this figure, proud to own it, I would probably want to take a lot of that silver off, kind of de-wash it about 50% or more. Here's Linda, and she shows pretty clearly how the silver, sorry I keep talking about it, but the silver was applied before some of the other paint applications. So the yellow is actually applied over that, so you see none of the silver goes through it. And that's a good thing. It's nice to still have that definition of the yellow parts that go through there. You know, it wasn't smudged away, it wasn't ruined by the excess of silver. And, you know, this is actually another armor that is not very saturated in its color by default. So this one doesn't look too bad. Of course, it's still overdone, but it's another one that's, I don't know, when I actually look at all four of them, I think this may be the most acceptable looking one. It may look the most natural versus her actual appearance, depending upon the lighting. I think the visor on this one wasn't done quite so well. Just the masking of it doesn't seem to have been complete. You know, some edges have kind of spilled over a bit. I think the color is pretty good. I like that color. It's not yellow, it's actually orange. You know, they kind of mixed together. I think there's a base of a bright yellowish gold underneath there with then just a tint of orange in a transparent colored placed over it. And then her shotgun is Oath Sworn, which looks great. Very, very good registration on the printing there. Nice crisp edges. I'm very happy with that one. That one is all good. All right, so let's move on to the next. And the next is the last. This is Linda, and her face to me, well, you know, the face that you see in the helmet looks very clown-like. I like how many paint applications were applied to that helmet, but it lacks depth and it lacks seriousness. It's going for the accurate shapes in terms of where the colors are placed and all, but really needed something else, needed something different to make that look a little bit more serious to me. It looks like a Gen 1 Transformer, maybe even a knockoff Transformer, maybe like a GoBot or something to me. She has Norn Fang, that's great. That's very nice to get in Mega form. And that one looks pretty good. I think the yellow has a good opacity to it, but it was applied just a little bit thin. You can see that the pigment particles are heavy, are thick within it, but then I think that the base medium was just a little bit dilute or a little bit liquidy, because you see just around the edges. I mean, it has actually flowed a little bit. Capillary action has taken effect and such, but all told, I think that weapon is pretty good. And Linda is yet another character with a fairly low saturation color scheme, and it's also fairly light, but I feel like the dry brush, the wash on this one, however that was applied wrongly, doesn't work out quite so well with this one because she looks very pearly this way. Just makes the whole thing look, yeah, just pearlescent. Just with how close I think the two are. The actual armor color, the color of the plastic beneath there, and then that bright silver color that's applied over it. It's not, from a distance, it's not too bad, but you can definitely see that shine at any time, including from a distance, and it does kind of stand out. And here are the other weapons. So the big one is High Five, the rocket launcher, and that looks pretty good paint applications on it. It's a little bit tough to get that to all line up properly and to stamp correctly or to spray correctly, whichever technique that they're using. It looks like it's a spray this time, but you know, on the curved surface. But I think they did a pretty good job, and it definitely really stands out. Bottom right is Whispered Truth, which is just a SOCOM pistol with a single paint application of white on it. Bottom left is Appetite for Destruction, the fancy saw, which is actually based on a bright silver, medium bright silver color. It's a little bit translucent, but the print on it is pretty good. This one doesn't stand out quite so well, I think mostly because of the translucency of the plastic itself. And then upper left is Whiplash, the railgun, and that one's actually pretty good. I feel like they got the colors right on that one. The colors on the box art actually are wrong, but this one is pretty nice. It's got that very muddy base color, which is kind of a medium dark beige. There's just a little bit of brown in it. That's nice. So after a legendary wait, almost a mythic wait for this set, I feel like it has not been worth the wait. There are a lot of problems with the production on all the elements, or most of the elements of this set. Some of them are okay, but the figures themselves were the things that needed to be done best. They needed to be on point, and they are not. They could have been easily, but the factory messed that up. Not the designers. I think the designers did fine. The pictures on the box of the CG artwork of how the designers intended for these things to look all came out looking pretty proper. But yeah, finished product, not so much. Don't know what happened with those figures, how they've allowed that to happen again with just way too much silver being applied. So collectors want to have these figures in their collection. Certainly, it's important, but I'm sure that plenty of folks will get this, but I'm sure that plenty of folks will be disappointed, just as I am. Let me know what you think. If you are disappointed in what you've seen here, be sure to make noise about it, respectfully, no cursing and stuff like that. But let your disapproval be known. Make sure that the folks at Mega, or now Mattel, really, hear that it's not okay to mess up things this badly, especially after making us wait for so long to be able to purchase their products, which then are difficult to find in very small quantities. But if you completely disagree with me and you think that I've been just unfair to this and you think it's actually pretty good, well, let that be known as well. Let me know what you actually feel about it, because I'm just one person after all. So that's it for my look at this set. Man, it's been a long wait. I look forward to your feedback, and I'm going to move on to my next video, so I'll talk to you again soon.
Level 3 Rex available. Round 4. Protect those Forerunner cores, Spartans.